Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's stream on the EGL channel. As every week, we are back on Saturday evening with SLR Tier 1, and it is round 21 of this 5th season. And we are here at Interlagos. Danny Co is god-awful, and in the commentary with me is Terra. Hello, how are you doing?
Yep, I'm alright. We got Brazil. And Brazil is always fun. We have a dry qualifying session and a dry race as well, which is always good to see because it's one of those tracks where you can actually get some good racing and some good overtaking. A little bit of a DRS train, but in any case, I think it'll be a fun one.
Yeah, it is kind of a DRS train meme track in my opinion, but it is a good one. I mean, you've got the two straights, so if there's like no huge train, then you can get some really solid back and forth racing as Yugos invalidates on his first qualifying lap. He did that in turn 4, I think. Probably went wide, really easy to do, and that means he's got, well, 3 more attempts, I would assume, unless he wants to save a set of tires. But, yeah. So that is what we're looking at today. We've got a full grid. We have got one new boy, and that is... oh, what is Yugos doing? He's just full-on hit the wall. I didn't know if that was intentional, but probably not, because he risked taking a tire off. He probably just, like, I don't know, slipped on traction or something, but he did definitely hit the wall. Anyways, we've got a new boy. It's in that Alfa Romeo. In that Alfa Romeo, it is Jay Verhagen or something. I'm trying here, okay? It's,
there you go. I'm assuming he's Dutch.
He is Dutch, and he is apparently a self-described fanboy of the guy we've got in P1 right now. It's just Jensen, who's put it into the sixes as the only driver out of the first ones. He's done a 6.9, which is, you know, not... I don't imagine that's the summit for today, but it is a solid banker. And it is pole for now.
Certainly is. One thing worth mentioning, Gary is on mediums and has done a 107.3, so that is a good lap on mediums.
My God, yeah, that's really good.
Probably, if you adjust for tyres, that's probably the fastest lap we've had in this first run so far, but of course it is on mediums. No real advantage to qualifying on the mediums today. It's a pretty straightforward soft medium in terms of the way the strategy works. I would expect most drivers to do that, so it is not necessarily an advantage at all to start on the medium, even if you are towards the front.
Yeah, it is. The thing is, as we already described, the DRS train is big here, so like track position... Oh, wow! Gary. The track position can be really valuable here, so like starting 6 or 7 spots down the order and then being on mediums for the first stint and like tagging along with all the soft runners. And then, like, that can work, but then you have to overtake people in the second stint, and if there's a train in front of you with, like, 5 cars, you're gonna, like, be out of ERS by the time you cleared, like, 2 of them, and then you need to recharge and everything, so it's, like, really hard job to do. I personally would just go for the grid, for the position on the grid. So I expect Gary to go out again, but we will have to see. Maybe it's just because he knows he's got enough time in that qualifying session to do the 4 runs anyways, and he just wants to use his mediums. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it is a weird one. I think most drivers probably will have picked softer for their compound, so they get an extra set of those soft tires. They can do 4 runs, as Astro Boys goes P5 on a 107.2. I have to say these lap times are not as fast as I was expecting, even for a first run. To have only 1 car in the 6s, and even Jay's time is a little way ahead of Bailey in P3 at 107.2. I was expecting a few drivers to be in the 6s by this point. I would expect pole to be probably a 6.5 or a 6.6, something like that.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think is what Hugo is capable of. And probably a couple of other drivers as well. Danny's also gone out on the mediums as Astro on his in-lap gets very sideways. But yeah, I would think that will be pole, and I would think that as a consequence, I don't think any of the drivers are going to be secure in their grid position at the moment. Even Jensen's lap probably will be, I would guess, would only be good enough for sort of the back end of the top 10 if it were to hold to the end of the session. So lots of improvement to come here.
I I'm not quite sure. I think this will probably like just about be in the top 10. Like I would expect like 7 or 8, but it really comes down to it. I mean, you gotta really attack those track limits, and especially like in the first sector, and so it is easy to have a qualifying session where just no one gets their good times in. And speaking of that, I just want to foreshadow something. Yesterday in Rapid Racers, Yugos ended up doing a 0.6, but at one point he was up 4/10 on that, and then he bottled everything in the last. Oh, Jensen! Then he bottled everything in the last corner, or the last proper corner. Junsao, you go ahead.
Junshao or something like that. Yeah, it's Portuguese is hard to pronounce, folks. It's lots of corner names that David Croft and others regularly butcher. But yeah, it's something like Junshao. Juncao. So yeah, it's a weird one.
That one, okay. And he lost 4/10 there. So like he is capable of doing a low 6, but well, he has to put it together. As Jensen actually improves on his time down to 6.8, which I didn't see coming.
Hugo's lap here. This is a very good lap from Hugo. It's going to blow everyone out of the water, I think. 50.1 middle sector is extremely fast. I think this is going to be a mid-6.
He comes across the line, and mid-6 is like exactly spot on as it is almost a 5 flat. So yeah, he is really putting some pressure on this competition for tonight. He has reached...
good lap from Jay as well.
Yeah, P3 for him. He is normally racing line boy, but... I have been told he'd turn it off just for tier 1, so that's cool to see. Pretorius puts it 4th for now. Bryce also solid in P5 on a 0.1, and McKenda is driving in tier 1 as well tonight, which is good to see. He's of course, or he was a championship contender in tier 2 this season, but it didn't work out in the end. I think he's gonna finish like P2 or P3 in the standings. But maybe we'll see him full-time in Tier 1 next season. I don't have any information on that, but it is possible. He's definitely got the pace.
Yep, he certainly does. We got Icewind doing his first lap on softs with not a tremendously fast first sector, but the first sector is always a little bit hit and miss. Certainly for me it is, but a lot of these drivers considerably better than me, so that's fair enough. Here is Icewind through the second split. He's 3/4 of a second up, as you would expect on the medium lap. I would expect this lap to be somewhere around a 7 flat or a 7-1. He'll go P4, P5, something like that. He crosses the line. It is P5 on a 7.088.
Yeah, and the drivers are stacking up just outside of those 6s. We've got Pretorius, Icewind really close, and Bryce as well in the mix. So yeah, they need to improve just a little bit, and they can get into the 9s. And Danny, what's Danny doing? Danny is on softs now, and he's as he gets a lot of oversteer, but judging by his ERS, he's definitely on a lap right now, and I'll have to look at
he certainly is.
And
first split was not great. Danny's second split not great either. I think we're heading for about the same sort of lap time as Icewind was doing, as Astro Boys goes P3 on a 106.8.
Oh, very nice from him. He was really fast last week, to my frustration. I thought I could get a podium, but like Astro he was just too fast, and he wasn't making any mistakes either. And it is a 0.1 from Danny, close to what you predicted. You grinded so hard. You're good at doing this with sector splits now, aren't you?
Yeah, I know what a good sector split is. It's one of those things that I've done something like 100 laps of Interlagos this week, and have been pushing the practice quite hard. It's just such a fun track to drive. So yeah, like I know what a good lap time is. I know what a good sector split is. As Justin matches Danny to the 1,000th of a second and goes P8.
They are so close. I mean, it's a Brazil qualifying. It's always gonna be close. But yeah, now comes the point where I would expect them to go a little faster. 4 of the drivers have dipped their toes into the 9s. Into the why do you keep saying 9s? I mean 6s. It's because 6.9s, but yeah, that's why I keep saying it wrong. Jensen, nice. I imagine, has got some time in that lap, because we saw him
Gary
getting big oversteer out of turn 7, I think that is. The one after Ferradura. So, that is invalid, so Jensen has to come in, and he will not improve on this run. That means he's got one, one
I
more shot
have a
at
feeling
this.
it might be 2. I think there was especially long loading as Tipsy has retired in the pits. He's going to start at best P16. But yeah, I think there was an especially long loading screen because no one went out for a good 2 minutes after we loaded in. So I think the difference, like the spectator glitch time, might actually be a good minute and a half today, because I wouldn't have expected that people would wait at all before going out, because you can get 4 runs if you hustle.
Yeah, for sure it's spectator glitch. So we've got basically 6 minutes left at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Gary was on a lap on the soft there, and he invalidated at the end of the slow left-hander, Pinheirino, in the middle of the lap.
Flex. Danny, god awful. I watched the stream back. I held my promise, okay? I did what you told me to.
He did.
No further context. So.
Bailey on a lap. Bailey is looking to get himself into the 6s here and potentially trouble Astro and Jay in the top 4 or 5 or thereabouts. He's going to cross the line in the Ferrari very shortly indeed, and he does. Nice. Yep. P5, just barely behind Jay. Yep.
Yeah, so close. So Jay's still holding himself really well. He is behind Jensen, Astro, Yugos. That's not a shame to be behind those drivers. And Bailey with his 0.8, probably like almost happy, because I think he can do 0.6s in TT and everything, but you gotta hook it up, you gotta put it together, and that's hard. So 0.8, decent start. Last week, of course, he had a funny off that I saw with my very own eyes.
Spins. Sorry, and the infield there, Basco spun in the McLaren. He was on a lap and just trying a little bit too hard to get the traction down out of the slow left-hander, and around he went. Pretorius crossed the line a minute ago. He improved his time, but not his position, so I think he improved something like half a tenth. Who else is on a lap? Astro's on a lap at the moment in P3. Hugo also on a lap. Just looking, Hugo's invalidated.
Astro's
Hugo
up
will
by
be
almost nothing as he cuts. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's too early turning into the right-hander. So yeah, Hugo, I mean, I think that lap's going to be pole. It's certainly the fastest lap that we've had this week so far.
For sure.
106.506, and yeah, you mentioned, I mean, I think short qualifying is slightly faster than time trial. That was my sense of it, and if Hugo's threatened to do a 0.2, then that confirms it. It's a I don't know why that is. I guess it's something to do with the multiplayer car being slightly different.
Probably.
Alright, who have we got now? Why am I watching? Oh, because everyone's in the pits, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay. There's Dragon's starting from the back by the looks of it. Bryce is on a lap. He's a little bit up. He was a little bit wide on the exit of Junchao, and he's going to go down the front straight. And I would think he is going to improve, but not by an enormous amount.
No, I think he's going to jump into the 6s, and that's exactly what he does. So, barely ahead of Pretorius. I mean, every little slip of traction, like every wiggle matters so much, because it's a short track and times tend to be super close. So, you like one mistake and you're going to drop like one or multiple spots. And yeah, Bryce has hooked it up some, I mean, in a way. You know, don't know what his potential is, so I don't know if he's going to be happy with that, but P6 for now, 6.9. McKenna retires from P10, and that is a 7.1 that he's going to end his session with. Copy, still all the way dead last in P20. He's got time for one more lap, as the clock is probably like at 2:30 right now. So, I mean, I don't even think he has time. No, for sure he doesn't have time to abandon, so he's gonna start his final run right now. That should ideally catapult him into the top 10. He's fighting with Gary in the championship for P2, Gary in P14 right now, and Copy in P20, so both of them under sorts of pressure.
Yep, absolutely right. Gary does have one final go. He's obviously decided to only do 3 runs in qualifying, wants to save a set of those soft tyres for the race and a potential safety car, which is, I think, a sensible thing to do. if you can get a good lap in, but does mean he's under pressure now. He won't want to start down in P14 because certainly if there's no rain, it's not really an advantage at all to be on the medium tyres. As he goes through the first sector, and yeah, you mentioned Copy. Where is Copy on track? He's in the middle sector at the moment as Basco crashes, I think, and retires.
Yeah, we're gonna see that. No, never mind, we're not. Yeah, Copy is gonna go across the second sector split, and you can tell me if it's good. It's 50.4, which I think is solid.
It's very good. It's going to be in the group behind Hugo. It's somewhere in there, I would have thought.
Like
50.1 was Hugo's split, yeah, exactly. And 50.401 is only just 0.3 off. That is going to cross the line, and it goes P2. And it is a Williams 1-2 for the time being at least. So Copy responds to the pressure. What about Gary? Gary was 2.5 tenths up. He's 6 tenths up in the third sector. In fact, he's slightly bettered Copy's second sector split. He didn't get a perfect run out, got a little bit sideways. So I wonder if that will have cost him as he goes down the main straight, and he's going to lift, and he decides he wants to start on the mediums. And that is a really interesting decision from Gary. He crosses the line, doesn't improve. Could have been right up near the front there, and chose not to be. So Gary with a very interesting decision there. I don't know why he's done that.
I'm gonna watch Jay now because he's up by I think a 10th after that sector 1, which is promising. Could get him into the ballpark with Jensen, Astro, probably Icewind, and looking solid so far as he's really attacking those track limits here. And solid middle sector so far by the looks of things. You need to be so careful modulating your brakes into these corners because you can easily lock up and just understeer off the apex. He's going to go across the second sector split, and that is solid. It is 2 tenths up, and that might just give him P3 here if he can put that together, which, I mean, he did bottle the last corner, so he has put it together,
P3,
and that's going to be P3.
Possibly even P2. He's going to cross lines. It's a very good lap from Jay. It was neat and tidy. It is P3 on a high 106.7, but certainly a very good lap. It was very nice to watch through the middle sector. Really nice and smooth through there. Bailey is not improving. He has abandoned. Well, I guess he did his lap already, so he's done for the session. And I think that probably is our qualifying session. There's only NJJ's on a slow lap as well. So I think that's it. I think that is our grid. It is a Williams 1-2. Copy pulling it out at the last second. Gary choosing not to do a fast lap at the end, which is, as I said, an interesting decision. We'll see if it pays off for him.
Absolutely. I'm gonna quickly take a peek at the championship standings right now between Copy and Gary. Okay, I mean, Copy is like solidly ahead. It's 216 to 188, and so, I mean, Gary would need to work wonders tonight if he wants to keep that alive somehow, but it's probably going to be more between Gary and Pretorius. He is in a weird position, and I don't know why he put himself there. I don't think it is very advantageous, especially considering he would have probably gotten into the top 3 with that lap. So, I don't know why he did it, but he will know, so we'll see.
Yep, he's will have had his reasons to do it, so let's see if he can work that out. And yeah, as you mentioned, that is once again a Williams 1-2, as it has been for a lot of this season, and it has been in the championship as well. Hugo and Copy getting the job done, at least for the time being, and Hugo's pace advantage here is quite alarming, I think, for everyone else. Jay and Jensen make it an all-Dutch second row. Very good lap from Jay on his debut.
Absolutely.
And we got Astro and Icewind one last time, for one last time, says Icewind.
We'll see about that.
But yeah, I don't know about that.
I mean, he has been driving fewer and fewer in the last race, so maybe he's for real this time. We'll see. This looks overcast, but we've been told that it's gonna be dry, so this is not gonna be any concern to the drivers.
Yeah, I would have thought so, and certainly with a fully dry race, I would imagine that there'll be a mix in tyre strategies between soft and medium from those starting towards the back of the grid. I wonder if a couple of drivers right at the back will start on the hards and try and get a little bit of a pace advantage when it matters towards the end of the race. But yeah, I don't really know. Given how strong DRS is, that is potentially viable. But yeah, it's It's only really at the margins. Like, it's not a clear advantage. I wouldn't say.
Tara, let's play the game that chat plays. How many DNFs? Tell me.
How many DNFs? I think probably. I think we can have a few. I think it's one of those tracks that there are walls around, and people tend to hit them. So I would say something like 5. I think we're gonna have a few today.
I'm going with 2.
Okay. You have. Oh wow. I said there would be a mix between soft and medium towards the back of the grid. Only Basco out of the top 10 has decided to start on the soft, so that's an interesting development.
Not too surprised. Wait, I didn't even realize Julian was in this qualifying session. He's in P11.
Yeah. No, he's P11. He did, I think, like a 7.1, something like that. It was a decent lap from Julian.
Yeah, solid. So, he is, he is the lead guy of those who run the medium into soft strategy, and we'll see how that plays out for him, if he can keep it together, of course. If he can't, then McKenna will gladly take the role of the lead medium runner. We'll see if Julian will be capable of, staying close to Fox. In my experience, it's like, it is not too hard to clear someone out of DRS if you have the grip or pace advantage, because that grip matters a lot in that middle sector, and as soon as you get them out, they just drop like a stone. So Julian and everyone behind him will have to hope that Julian gets it together and stays with Fox for as long as possible. But up front, we've got a Senna's coming up, which is always fun. We've got Copy, I think, on the inside line. Maybe he can challenge Hugos if he gets a good getaway. It's a tight first corner, especially in the midfield. Let's hope everyone gets through safe, and we don't have a DNF like last week, like yesterday.
It was poor X Crystals who didn't make it around the first couple of corners. In that one, he lost a wheel on the wall on lap 1, and yeah, I would say that probably the outside is a slight advantage for turn 1. I think you can yeet it in around the outside.
Where is my HUD? We are getting 5 red lights. They're gonna go out, but you know the procedure. Basco, of course, in the lead as we get a pit strategy, and we go green in Interlagos. And looks like Hugos had a really good getaway. His Copy looks like he might just get swamped here. Jay's already attacking him on the outside. So Jay and Copy are fighting it out for P2. Jay's on the inside, and Copy's still hanging in there, and turn 3 is his inside line. So the Williams stays in P2, but now in the Alfa Romeo with the slipstream. Can Jay challenge him into turn 4? He's looking for the outside line. No, Copy's defended that well. Jensen lost the position to Astro Boys. Julian up to P8, actually really good start from him. He's ahead of Icewind, who is wiggling there. He's in trouble. He's getting attacked by the medium runners as well as Fox, as I think we got everyone through safely so far. McKenna is trying it around the outside of Fox there, and I think he's getting that one done. No, he's not, but good move up front. Up front, everything looks sorted. Hugos has gotten his usual good launch. Copy just barely hanging on in that second. And Jay has gotten away solid. We've got the first spin, and it's Dragon.
Yep, Dragon right at the back, unfortunately. He was on the medium tyres, and he's gone around in the left-hand. I didn't see if he had help or anything like that, but a very good start.
Justin.
From the 2 Williams boys. Gary making headway there up to P12. We saw him pass Danny in the middle sector. And he's also passed Justin
pit stop
down
for
the front straight.
Icewind, and I think, is he gonna retire? I don't know.
That must be damage. There's no reason to pit if you don't have damage. So yeah, Icewind, by the looks of it, down a little bit there. And JJ gets himself the first of what I'm sure are going to be many penalties today. The timings aren't working particularly well. Copy, though, is not really hanging onto the back of Hugo, and that is alarming as far as he is concerned. We got Astro and Jensen fighting side by side into Ferradura. Astro with the inside line. He covered that one very nicely and will manage to hold the position for now. Bryce also pitting, so he must have picked up some damage there on lap 1. Both he and Icewind. In fact, no, Icewind going on the mediums, Bryce going on the hard tyres, presumably to try and go as long as possible, maybe even to the end.
Yeah, on the hards, I think you can make the end. I would assume so. Softs can make half the race, the hards can probably make the entire thing. Yeah,
I think it's even then, I think it's marginal. Like there's not a huge difference between the tires here, either in pace or durability. Soft is about half a second faster than the mediums when they're both fresh, but there's they only die a few laps sooner as DRS is enabled, and yeah, Copy is out of DRS. So Hugo looking to stretch his legs here. We've had a couple of drivers do that this week at the front. I was one of them in the
nice
Tier 3 race.
Flex, well done. Great. We've got... oh, Jay almost dropping it here. I was going to say that makes Copy an easier target for him because Copy doesn't get DRS as of now unless he does something miraculous over the course of this lap, which I don't expect as of now. But Jay actually needs to... Okay, the Delta's just being funny. He is definitely within reach of that DRS, so he might be able to, you know, stay uncomfortably close to Copy and maybe attack him at some point in this race. Julian also doing a really solid job. He's in P8. He's solidly hanging on to Pretoria. He's also got Fox and gained 3 positions off the start, so nice from him.
Yeah, Julian on the mediums, so if he can hang on to that DRS train, he's going to be in a very good position there. We saw at the beginning of the last lap, Bailey and Pretorius fighting. They were side by side heading into turn 4 as Hugo does the fastest lap of the race, 109.5. That is a fast lap indeed on lap 3. As Copy unable to live with his teammate at the moment. He's also being drained of ERS by Jay behind, who is in that DRS, and Astro has dropped out, at least for the time being. Might have to defend here from Jensen over the next couple of laps.
Yeah, I don't know how Astro dropped that. I think McKenna is also making a move here. He's on the inside of Gary. He's actually defending, I believe. As he goes deep into turn 4, needs to be careful to not pick up a warning, and Gary just sneaks through. That was a really good move from him. Set him up perfectly. Now he's in P10. So solid from him as well. Looking to follow his teammate through. Danny, yeah, he might be god awful. He might be god awful, but that was brilliant. Like
that was very nice from Danny. Around the outside in Ferradura. You don't see that very often. As up front, 1.8 is the gap between Hugo and Copy, and as I mentioned, this is alarming for everyone else.
Look at Jensen. Jensen is just getting this done here. No questions asked. Astro isn't even trying.
Yeah,
so Jensen
there's no reason to defend this.
And really close there. The question now is going to be, can Jensen close that gap to Jay, his fellow Dutchman? And can he fight with him for that P3? I mean, he's been fast for the races he's shown up to in the second half of the season. Also, I've got good memories of the end of last season, where he and Wow absolutely grinded Brazil and were really, really fast here. So it is probably one of his better tracks, and maybe he can show it. We'll see.
Yep, it certainly is. And just mentioning Gary as well. Gary looks very fast on those mediums. It's a little bit of a shame that he put himself at that disadvantage. He's at 8 seconds off the lead at the moment, and already that's a gap that I think you'd say that he would struggle to close on a soft stint at the end of the race. He's got Fox ahead of him now as well. He's going to try and overtake over the next couple of laps or so. Fox without DRS. Julian is hanging on to Pretorius in front with the DRS, so as I mentioned, he's in a very good position, and Jensen trying to close that gap down. He doesn't have a huge amount of battery to do it, though. Jay does have battery, and at the moment is hanging on very nicely to Gary. Copy in front.
Gary's going for that move on Fox, as you announced, and he does so with ease. He's going to break later down the inside, and he's got that one done. Fox, yeah, I mean, he's just driving the wide line, but there's no way past him here. So where is Jay? Jay is, yeah, just about like 3/10 at the end of the straight. That's that looks like what it's going to be like. Hugo's, I think, is managing at this point, probably not pushing as hard as he could be, because that gap has been, you know, somewhere thereabouts for the past laps. I wonder if Jay just picked up a warning. He definitely was close to it.
He did not, according to the race director. Okay, Hugo has picked up 1 warning so far. Oh, okay. Just looking at the others, Jensen's on 2 warnings. Astro doesn't have 1. Bailey has 1. Copy, as you would expect, doesn't have any. Copy closing the gap up front. I wonder if there's been a couple of mistakes here from Hugo.
Maybe he's team ordering. Maybe he does like. I mean, maybe he's just trying to give him DRS. It's possible. I have been in VC with Hugo steering races in the past. He does think about that stuff, but now Jay, no. Okay, really close. He could have maybe gone for that, but would it have been advantageous? Don't know. Both would have lost a lot of time side by side to the Sennas, and then Copy would have gotten to, you know, probably re-overtake him on this second straight, the Retro Poster, I think it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with mistake for Hugo, because it was the middle sector that he lost time in. It was 4/10 that lap. So yeah, I think probably he made a mistake somewhere. He doesn't make many, but certainly at the moment he's not pulling away as we might have expected him to from Copy and Jay behind. Jensen is holding that gap despite not having DRS as Gary gets himself 3 seconds. He's pushing very hard now to catch up to the back of Julian, who is still on that DRS train, just about barely. And now the medium tyres are not going to be that much worse than the softs. We're on lap 7, and Julian, of course, will have started on fresh medium tyres. So Julian looking like he's in a good position, only 6 seconds off the lead at the moment, and with the soft stint to come, might be able to make some headway in the second half of the race.
Look at the gap between the Williams. I mean, it's just stationary at this point. Like, it's not moving anywhere. It's 1.1, then it goes to 1.3 and back down again. So, I don't know. What I was gonna say, like, there has been points in the past where Yugos has openly talked about thinking that he should give Copy DRS in rapid races and everything. So, and he doesn't have any interest in the championship fight. But then again, he probably just wants to win. So, I don't know if he might be doing this intentionally.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not given him DRS yet,
true.
So I think if he wanted to, he would have done.
That's true.
He wouldn't be. He wouldn't just sort of dangle it out there in front of him, just tantalizingly there, but not quite. He's 1.3 ahead and does seem to be pulling away this lap at least a little tiny bit.
Yep.
So we'll see as we come towards the end of the lap what it is. Copy is a 10th down on his best. So he's still pushing hard. Jensen is getting towards the back of Jay, and Jensen's pace does look pretty strong, doesn't it? We saw him in qualifying a couple of times get himself to the front of the order, and I think his pace is there. A 9.9 without DRS from Jensen. He has used his battery to do that, though.
McKenna gets into the sideboard of Fox, so that was definitely not the cleanest overtake you could have hoped for, but I don't know who's to blame for that. Only saw the tail end of that. But now the question is, can Fox just re-overtake him down the Retro Costa? No battery. Yeah, exactly. But yesterday I got stuck like for 15 laps for a guy who would always let me pass in turn 1 and just re-overtake me. So it was really annoying. So yeah, that's a trauma of mine, but McKenna doesn't have to suffer the same trauma because because there's no battery left as NJJ does an oopsie, and oh yeah, he's all over the place. He's trying to find the track somewhere here. He doesn't find it. He's our first retirement, and that is on track, exactly. So let's see if that's going to be a safety car. Would be interesting. I don't think it is one, but...
doesn't look like it. I think it would have happened by now if it was going to. So NJJ retires safely and doesn't cause any sort of a safety car. And we have green flag conditions. Icewind and Bryce hoping for that safety car, but no such luck for the time being, as Jay has pulled away again from.
Oh
Jensen.
my God, Hugo! How?
So Hugo, we said he might be struggling just a tiny little bit, and does pick up those warnings. And does now have 3 seconds of penalties, and he's lost a little bit of time in the first sector there as well. So Hugo, I don't know whether he's feeling the pressure or whether he's just making a couple of mistakes that you wouldn't necessarily expect him to make, but it looks like they were real mistakes, and now he's in, I wouldn't say a little bit of trouble, but certainly he's given himself some work to do in this race.
Uncomfortable position to be in, for sure, yeah, I mean, everyone else is gonna have, like, permanent high ground until they get penalties. Which might happen, I don't know. But it's Copy. Like, he usually doesn't get one. I can't judge Jay yet, never seen him drive. Also, Jay has, like, sort of recovered himself. He was at the brink of dropping out of the DRS of Copy of one lap, and, like, Jensen was right on his tail. But now it has gone the other direction again. Jay 6 tenths behind Copy, and Jensen 1.6 seconds behind... Jay, and he's pulling along with him Mercedes of Astro, the Ferrari of Bailey, and the other Mercedes of Pretorius. Julian has, in the meantime, like, dropped off this train, which, I mean, fair enough, he has held on solidly for long.
You'd kind of expect that. Yeah, the two racing points at the moment are running line astern. They are the lead cars on mediums. I've been watching Jay a little bit. He's a very good driver. I would say that. You can certainly see
someone
the
dead?
influence.
Is that an Alf? No, wait, who's that? We've got yellows.
Ferrari.
It's Danny!
Danny!
No! Danny, no!
Danny has looped it.
Well,
at turn 4, and he's hit the inside wall by the looks of it. Yeah, he's missing oh no, he's not missing any front wing by the looks of it. So maybe not any damage, but certainly falls right to the back. So Danny, another one who's given himself a lot of work to do. He was on the mediums, of course. He's qualified towards the back.
God awful.
And but yeah, I've been watching Jay. He's a very solid driver. Very neat and tidy. His lines are excellent. He's very precise with the steering. Occasionally loses a little bit of traction. Oh, as I say that, he cuts turn 2. That certainly will have been a warning for Jay, and yeah, indeed it was.
Maybe he's gonna utilize it and try and get past Copy. He's certainly gaining in the braking zone. No, it's a really, I mean, turn 4 is just really tight. Like, you're almost always gonna make side pod contact if you like go for a send like that. So that's why he didn't do it, which you know, can respect that. Fedavaro in chat points out that Yugos is pushing now, and I feel like, I mean, he's right. I think Yugos was managing before, because since he's gotten that penalty, and since he knows that he has to actually get the move on, he's cleared a second, as if it was just like him pressing or flipping a switch, and now he's going. So that's interesting to see.
Yeah, it's weird though, isn't it? Because if you're managing, you'd expect you wouldn't expect, and yeah, you wouldn't expect any mistakes. No, it's yeah. I think he genuinely did make those mistakes by the looks of it, and he's trying to make up for it now. He's done a couple of very fast, clean laps.
Jay is coming, and he's storming down the inside of Copy, and I think he's gonna do this on this lap. It's lap 13, and he passes him for P2. And yeah, now Copy has to see how he's gonna progress further in this race. He probably has to hang on to the DRS. He's not close enough for a counter move on Jay, and he's also got less. He's got significantly less ERS than the Alfa Romeo driver, so it's probably like his goal now to just hang along a little bit and, you know, get himself in a good situation with that.
And keep Jensen out of DRS. That's the important thing from his perspective, to maintain that gap as best he can to P4. And Jensen is dragging Astro along with him as well, so those two looking pretty racy. Pretorius and Bailey also towards the back of that group, and Julian has made up a bunch of time.
Oh yeah,
the last couple of laps as well. He's back in DRS here of Bailey, so Julian looking fast on those medium tires. Gary likewise, but Gary with that penalty, of course.
Oh, Julian! Wow, you almost looked at there. He's looking absolutely rock solid if you don't look at what he just did in
Copy pits.
And yeah, Bailey also.
So does Astro.
3 of them.
And Bailey as well. So yeah, 3 people pitting on lap 13. We're getting, yeah, this is the beginning of the window, I would say. And hard tyres for Astro Boys, which is interesting. I would imagine Copy and Bailey both go on mediums, but Astro deciding that he wants the pace at the end of the race, and he's going to have to do some work now to stay with the pack on those fresh hard tyres, because they are not fast.
Yeah, I don't get it. Hello, for Mercedes strategy department. Are you home? I don't know. Well, he's come up P16. He's really close to Copy. 1.3 seconds. Is something up with Copy?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one, isn't it? How far behind was he? He was a good. It wasn't all that far behind, because he was off. No, he's gained about a second, I think, because he was just off the back of Jensen, wasn't he? Astro Boys. So
was he?
the gap was 1.4 between Copy and Jensen, and then 7/10. So yeah, he's gained a little bit, but not a huge amount. Copy has to deal with Danny here, and has to deal with him as efficiently as he can. And yeah, the issue for Copy is that he's dropped right into this big train, or right behind this big train. He's going to have to deal with everyone between P9 and P14 at the moment, as Jay and Julian both pit as well. Copy does go down the inside of Danny.
What's Julian doing? Why is he on hards? Why is he driving medium hard? What? Are you kidding me?
Julian was on mediums. That's a weird one.
Yeah, for sure. He was so fast, and now he's throwing it all away by doing this strategy. What's he doing?
Well,
this is just.
Might be he has. And he loses a front wing. Oh no, Julian.
Oh,
you absolutely hate to see that. And
my god, what?
You're pretty much hoping for a safety car now, because that's going to be some damage on that racing point. He's going to really struggle now, especially on those hard tyres, to make up for this. Jay is in big traffic, and I just wonder the lead runners might have the right idea here, because there's not a huge undercut, and Jay and Copy are both in just so much traffic. Look at this. It's Dragon behind Basco, behind Tipsy, behind Pixel, behind Justin. All of them line astern, and none of them are slow enough for it to be a comfortable overtake for Jay, so he's going to have to use all that battery he can.
Yeah, and Jay now needs to get a move on here, as the others probably... Okay, one of them pits is Basco. Jay pulls to the outside, and the question is, did this cost him enough time to be vulnerable to Jensen? Because Jensen was like 1.5 seconds behind. Where does Jensen come out? I think he's cleared him. Yeah, solidly. He's solidly ahead of that, and now Jensen has to cut through the traffic. He comes out alongside Danico, and can he... yeah, he can probably break to the inside of him in turn 4, but it's close. Danny doesn't give this to him, and Jensen maybe not aggressive enough. Danny picks up a penalty. They're running side by side in turn 5, and I think, yeah, Jensen getting this done. Danny picking up a penalty for nothing, but it definitely costs Jensen time. Also up ahead, Copy cleared Dragon, and is now trying to... follow Jay through the traffic. This feels like endurance racing, like multi-class. Like trying to, you know, stay close to your competitor while everyone's cutting through traffic. That's.
Well, I'll tell you who's not in traffic, and that's Hugo. He's come out ahead of that group. The lap 15 pit working out for him. He's on better tyres than most of those behind him as well. And he has a completely clear track, as Pretorius is the last of the soft runners on lap 16 to make his pit stop, and it will certainly be for mediums. Jay trying to get past Tipsy at the moment as well. Tipsy draining his battery completely empty now, as
he still sends it!
Look!
Sticks his nose in, there's no room, he's about to get spun right now, he doesn't, but that was really close, and he's getting frustrated. He lost so much battery to that, and maybe that leaves him vulnerable to Copy. We know for sure Tipsy doesn't have any battery left, because his light is flashing, and now Jay's getting past. That was one straight later than he wanted to, but at least he's got the Renault between himself and Copy now, and Copy needs to get past Tipsy soon, but the good thing is Jay drained all of Tipsy's battery, so Copy doesn't have to.
As Bailey gets 3 seconds. Bailey towards the back of that group of cars that have just hit it. Nice move from Jay. Sent one down the inside of Justin, gave him no real... down the inside of Pixel, sorry.
And Jensen is... Wait, Jensen's past Copy! No, they're fighting side by side.
They're side
in the
by
right-hander. And Jensen, I think, can swing it around the outside. They're still side by side. The next one is the inside line for Jensen, and it's 2 left-handers from here. So I think he's gotten this done, unless
I'm not sure.
Bad run on the straight. Copy is still there. Absolutely brilliant from him. Now he's going to empty his battery. They've got Tipsy ahead. They're going to both get DRS. Jensen's got his nose ahead.
Copy's got more battery.
Oh, yeah, he's got the battery advantage, so he's probably going to lead this fight into turn 1. As, Jensen's completely out of juice. He's got nothing left, and in the meantime, Jay is 2 cars ahead of him, and he's now undoubtedly going to get past Justin, and he's just paving the way for a solid P2 right now, so Jay, gets the move on the Haas done. And it's P4, He's 4.2 down the road of Yugos. He doesn't have a penalty. Tipsy clears, Copy clears Tipsy, and now Tipsy moves aside for Jensen. So
yeah, absolute nightmare for the drivers being overtaken here. You know you're a lot slower, and you know that the other drivers behind are going to be in a real hurry to get past, because there's there's real urgency for them. They need to keep up with each other. But Tipsy managing to negotiate that very nicely indeed. Astro has lost time, as you might expect, on those hard tires. He's not really been able to make any headway at all. He's still behind Danny, who's on those 17-lap-old mediums. But the net winner from all of that, as I mentioned earlier, is Hugo, who did not get any of that traffic at all and is 4.5 seconds now. He also got the overcut, so he's going to have better tyres for the end of the race, is Hugo. So Hugo with a completely clear track ahead, and even with the 3-second penalty, I think it's hard to see him losing this one.
You're trying, aren't you? The commentator's curse.
Jensen and Copy again. Jensen right on the back of Copy here. They've both got to try and clear Pixel. Copy covering the inside. And Copy sending one on the inside of Pixel. He had to there. Yeah. And, both past Pixel. And if only Jensen had battery, he's the kind of driver that would try to get alongside you into Ferradura. But he can't. So they are still in this traffic, and Jay's absolutely checked out. So he's... his traffic management was really good, so that's nice to see. I could do with more of this, if he decides to join, maybe, I don't know. I'm just hinting here, as Jensen almost touches the rear of Copy there, because he's so close during
or through these corners. I wonder what's going to happen between those two and Justin now, because Justin likely going to stay out one more lap, I think. And, like, it's an awkward spot. Justin doesn't have DRS. Copy probably a little too far back to make the move. And there comes Jensen. I think he's getting the overspeed. He's going to try and brake later into that turn 1. Goes to the inside. And no, he doesn't. Okay. I thought he was going for that move. Danny pits. So this is when he thinks the softs make it to the end. That's interesting. And yeah, the broadcasting camera can't decide what's more important for Copy. We see a move in the background, though. That is Pixel on Tipsy. They've been fighting all race. Battle for Ireland. Go, and Tipsy keeps himself ahead of this. Well, I mean, they got Gary in that fight, but he's in P2 for now. And, oh, Pixel swings it around the outside of Ferrodura. Can he actually make that stick? Yes, he can. Still alongside. Next one is the inside line for Tipsy Bob, but then it swings back left, and I think Pixel might get this. No, he doesn't. Better run for Tipsy. This is an incredible fight. They touch wheels, and Pixel's gonna break so much later in that right-hander. That was that was easy to predict. They're still side by side for the entire second sector, and someone is bottled, and that's Gary, and he's got a puncture. So that is definitely compromising him. Yes, he does. Front right.
Wow.
And Pixel comes out ahead in that brilliant fight. That was really good, but I don't think it's gonna pay him a dividend because Tipsy's just, well, okay, he's pitting, but okay.
Yeah, fantastic fight between the two of them. The big disaster, or the people for who that was a disaster, was Astro and Pretorius, who were on fresh tires trying to get past them, and they had to wait behind the two of them all the way through. Gary retires in the pits, so not a good race for him. He was going to put the hard tires on to go to the end. Didn't think he could do 16 laps on the mediums, so that is the end of Gary's race. Unfortunately for him, his tire strategy not paying off in this one. Jensen, in the meantime, has passed Copy. We missed that.
Safety car, what?
Oh.
Who? What
was that for? I don't know. Does somebody...
But look at Tipsy. Spin? Look at Tipsy. He's in P5. He's got mediums. Pixel will hate his life.
Well, he's going to be able to pit as Tipsy, and I just wonder... He's not going to get that far, I don't think. He can put the softs on and come out... where would he come out? He'd probably come out ahead of Justin. So he does get a little bit of an advantage from that. It means there's an interesting decision here for the leaders. Hugo does not pit.
Oh, the penalty.
So Hugo's going to stay out. And yeah, the penalty now matters a great deal for Hugo. It's going to be, what, a 13-lap or so run to the end. Maybe even a 12-lap run to the end. Jay in a very good position. He doesn't pit either. People who do pit, Copy, Tipsy, Tipsy as we would expect. Astro Boys, who was on the hard, he's going to go probably to the... softs, I would have thought, to get to the end of the softs to the end of the race easily.
Don't clown this, Astro, don't. Like, okay, yeah, it does. Everyone's pitting for softs, as they should. If someone put mediums on now, I would get mad. Julian gets a new wing, yeah.
And the lead driver on softs, is that right? Makenda? Where did Makenda come from? How did that happen?
See, there's things that scientists can't explain. I have no clue.
I don't know. How did Makenda manage to do that? Did he pit while the safety car was out? So let me go back and check the stream, see where Makenda was, because he was completely under my radar.
Yeah, I know he existed, and I know he was driving that race, but I had no clue where he was. But I know where he is now, and it's P5 and it's on softs, so he's in a great spot actually to clean up with those medium runners a little bit. Maybe he can get past one or two drivers before the DRS train kicks in.
Yeah, he was coming out of the pit lane when the safety car came out.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Is the answer. And he suddenly is in a fantastic position. The lead runner on soft, and that is a real advantage that he has. He does have, how many penalties does he have?
One.
Just the 3 seconds? Yeah, just the 3 seconds. So some of that will be wiped out. But yeah, Makenda is a real spanner in the works of those drivers who've come out on soft. And Tipsy has come out. Is that right? Tipsy's come out in P7.
Yeah.
So Tipsy did get a big advantage from that. I guess the delta meant that the other drivers... Oh, because they all pitted as well. Yeah, that makes sense. So Tipsy really, benefiting from that safety car. It's perfectly timed for him. Pixel as well, honestly, even though he just pitted, he's in a good position in P9. We got, because a lot of the lead drivers stayed out, Hugo, Jay, Jensen, and Pretorius all stayed out, and Pretorius made up a few places doing that, but the others really didn't. And I just wonder if they're going to regret that decision. Hugo with that penalty as well, so suddenly this race looking difficult, even though Hugo is the fastest car in the field. He's got much worse tyres than a lot of the guys behind him now.
And he's got the penalty, so, I mean, he needs to clear 3 seconds while also being on worse tyres on the soft runners. He's got the same tyres as Jay, of course, so that's, like, manageable, but it is going to be a tough ask, and, I mean, that's interesting. We'll see how he manages that. He drives really close to a safety car here. I just wonder if he's gonna lose like positions to the soft runners and how the soft runners are gonna deal with Pretorius, Jensen, Jay, and himself. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Safety car in this lap, as to be expected. I wonder if there's gonna be any funny safety car restart shenanigans. Yugos gets to start the race or restart the race whenever he wishes to, and he's backing the field off a lot. I wonder when he goes, and I wonder if anyone is gonna attack other drivers. Jay and Yugos really close. He's still weaving. We're going late. He's going as late as possible. And I think Yugos has thrown away his chance at a surprise, but it is going to be enough. And he gets... oh, there's a collision between Icewind and Julian. Yeah, that was to be expected with that close field. But yeah, Yugos leads into turn 1. McKenna is...
Spinning as Jay. Didn't see how that happened. But Jay goes around and has potentially thrown away his chance. I guess cold tyres might have had something to do with that. Didn't see if he got any help. I don't think he did. McKenna already on Pretorius.
Oh, they're side by side, and I think he went into the side pod. Pretorius is wide. He has to rejoin the track safely. Copying P4. He's in a prime position. No penalty and also on softs. So Jensen and Yugos are out in the lead with those mediums, and they've got angry soft runners behind themselves. Jensen actually also in a great position compared to Yugos because of that penalty. I wonder if Yugos can clear 3 seconds on Jensen. I doubt it. Tipsy P6 for now, and that is heartbreak for Jay. He was in such a great spot. I would have loved to see if he can take a maiden victory on debut, but well, now he can't. He's in P18.
Yeah, pretty sure that's the end of his challenge, unless there's another safety car almost immediately, but that is pretty unlikely as the leaders funnel their way out of the last corner and down the straight. We've got a bottleneck here with Pretorius, who's got Tipsy just behind him, has got Astro just behind him, has got Pixel just behind him, has got Dragon just behind him, has got Fox just behind him. They're all line astern as they head down the front straight. Basically the whole field is having a look. Is one of the Red Bulls there. I think that might have been Fox, but doesn't manage to make his way through. Everyone single file through the first couple of corners. Hugo with an 0.8 of a second lead over Jensen, who is in the DRS and will retain it if he can stay within a couple of tenths of Hugo this lap.
That was for sure a warning, I would say, because he went fully off track. I don't even think he gained time, but like that should be a warning, I think. I mean, he's certainly pushing hard. If he, like, as soon as Jensen loses DRS, it's also bad news for Yugos, because that makes him an easy pickup for McKenna, and then McKenna can set his sights on Yugos, and they are gonna fight each other on even grounds with those penalties, and it is hard to see to say who's gonna come out on top, but I think Jensen's not doing enough as of now, because it is a second now. DRS is not gonna be live this lap. I think it's next lap, right?
It is next lap, yeah. Jensen trying everything. Jensen's out of battery though, Hugo's not, so it looks like Jensen is going to be out of that DRS. So Hugo with a chance to stretch his legs maybe, but he's going to have an angry horde of soft runners just behind very soon, I think, because yeah, as you mentioned, McKenna is going to be able to make his way past.
Bailey and Julian fighting side by side, and oh yeah, oh no, they crashed! And they're gonna go across the track, and Icewind has to avoid them, and Basco's just gonna pick up 3 in one go, I believe, as he's on the inside, and he has got the nose ahead. Yeah, that's 3 in 1 for him. Takes advantage of that fight. Bailey's in P13 for fighting side by side, picks up a penalty side by side with Icewind. I think they both have 2 penalties now into Ferradura, and Icewind is in P12, and Julian turns the wrong way. Oh no!
Had a look down the inside of Bailey, and instead of going down the inside, he crashed into him. And that is the end of Julian's race. He has left the session. So Bailey, Bailey and Julian, neither of them particularly disciplined there, and both paying the price.
Yeah, I mean, this is not oval racing. You can't just turn left and expect it to work, Julian. I don't know what you're doing.
McKenna on Jensen might well happen here, because Jensen is out of battery. McKenna is not. McKenna with the DRS. Jensen having to defend down the inside, but I think he knows the game's up. Fastest lap of the race for McKenna.
Oh, but he's sticking his nose in! Oh, he got that chopped off pretty hard, but I don't think I saw any carbon fiber flying. So, yeah, Makenda into solid P2. Jensen just needs to hang on. Both of those ahead of him have a penalty, but he's also got Copy up his rear. And if he loses the position to Copy, then that's, of course, actually gonna be like that because both of them have no penalties. Pretorius has, yeah, I mean, he's
Copy with a full battery as well.
Got a bit of a gap. Yeah, Copy, just really solid position here to maybe potentially even win this race.
Yep, I think he's favourite to win at the moment as Jay does the fastest lap on the soft tyres. So he at least manages to take that away from Makenda. But yeah, I would think the Copy is probably favourite to win. On those soft tyres, they're going to be fast from here until the end of the race. They're certainly going to be faster than Hugo's tyres from here to the end of the race, and Jensen as well. So Copy just got to stay disciplined. He's got completely full battery to do something here about Jensen. Jensen going to try everything he's got, going to use everything he's got. And certainly at the moment, Copy's not quite attacking just yet, but I would imagine that very soon he will make that overtake stick.
Astro Boys on Pretorius. I mean, that is certainly team orders. Also, as Basco needs to defend from Iceman as they run side by side through the centers, and Iceman gets that position. And I think, yeah, no counter action from Basco. So he drops one back, but the DRS, yeah, he tucks in. Iceman claiming the inside as early as he can. Can he carry the position in turn 4? He can. So Basco stays behind P12, P11 for also Bailey. No!
I lost the wheel. VSC. Oh, VSC. That was a big moment. It's yeah, I'm gonna say we've seen that before from Bailey.
Oh, it's the same corner.
The same corner, yeah. We've seen that before from Bailey.
Can I do it? Can I? Bailey Thompson spins. I needed to.
And brings out a VSC with what, 8 laps to go in this one.
He told we were in VC before the race, and he told me he's got like Vietnam flashbacks every time he goes to that corner. So that didn't age well.
Doubly so now.
Oh,
that's good news for Jensen, who gets at least a little bit of a chance to recharge his battery.
Yeah.
He's still got the worse tyres, obviously, than Copy, but he will be able to defend with that DRS and with the battery at least a little bit now. And we're going to see as well if the safety car ending catches anyone out. I think it's about to end by the looks of the behaviour of the cars.
Hugas has pulled a gap. I think he's like very far.
Makenda with a penalty. And Jensen.
My
Both
God,
of them
are you kidding me? And that is 2 of the top 3 out of this. That means Copy is now P2, and as soon as the other 2 take their penalties, Copy can just like cruise up to the back of Hugas and claim a victory if nothing goes wrong. I'm trying hard here, okay? But I mean, why would I try to jinx Copy? Poor soul. Hasn't done anything to me. Deserves it.
Well, Astro Boys as well is in a very good position, I think, to pick up at least a podium here because he's on the soft tyres.
Yeah.
He's only 2 seconds behind Copy, and if he can close the gap to Hugo, then potentially he can get Hugo as well with those 3 seconds of penalties. So Hugo having work to do here just to stay on the podium. We're going to see if either Makenda or Jensen are going to serve their drive-through now. Makenda is, Jensen isn't. So Makenda, and I think it probably is worth it to do it now from the perspective of your race because you can, there is potential for a safety car after this. On this lap, but I think this is the last lap, or maybe the next lap is the last lap that a safety car can come out, but certainly I think it is worth it to serve it early in this case. And
yeah, Copy is he's not as close to Jensen as I would expect him to, but I mean, as long as he that's Bryce. Bryce is dead. Turn 4. The end of the race was crazy, like it just all started unfolding at some point. Yeah, I mean, Copy needs to get a move on.
Copy's on 2 warnings, I should mention as well. So Copy needs to keep it clean.
What? What's Danny doing? Why is he so what?
Did he spin? What happened there?
So weird. He just parked. Like, it's just,
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the weird one. Jensen staying out another lap. So he's going to have to serve that drive-through very soon. Makenda's come out P13. It's going to be no points for Makenda unless something weird happens. even with the pace advantage on drivers ahead of him. Dragon on Tipsy into, out of turn 1, Makenda.
Oh, and Fox on Tipsy. Oh, I've seen those two fight.
Makenda.
And Fox and Tipsy, who's gonna come out alongside ahead? They are gonna squeeze each other so much. They give each other no inches. Fox almost faces his own death in turn 4, but he pulls out and Tipsy keeps P4. What's going on? P8.
Yep, Tipsy keeping P8, and that is a real P8 as well. Copy needs to pass Jensen. There's no real sense in waiting behind. He's got a full battery. He's got 2.8 now to Hugo, and he's got to try and close that gap, or at least hold that gap for the rest of it. Makenda has left the session. That's Makenda's retired car.
And Jensen stays out. No, he doesn't. He finally drives into the pits,
got a pit this time.
And that means now we can see it on the delta, and it is Copy 2.5 behind Hugo's, or 2.6, 2.8, Hello?
Made a mistake there in the first sector, Copy.
Yeah, for sure, he went really deep, and he's got the battery at his disposal, though, like, he just can't crack under the pressure now. He can't pick up a warning, he can't make any mistakes, he just needs to use that tire advantage to his advantage and, do what he needs to do to close that gap.
I would think that, he's obviously still in the best position. Astro hasn't really been able to close that gap to Hugo. He's got 2.6 seconds to make up in the last 5 laps or so, which seems like a tall order. So Hugo might be keeping, and Fox and Icewind fighting over what is now P8 and P9. Icewind with the 11 seconds of penalties, though, so Icewind's not going to be getting any points in this one. Oh no, 5 of those aren't real. Still 6 seconds of penalties, which I think knocks him out of the points anyway. So down the order, Pixel and Tipsy are gonna fight once more for that nice P6, which would be a great result for both of them. Pixel, of course, has been really unlucky this season, and he would love to pick up some points, but Tipsy is looking keen on taking 2 off of him in these in the closing stages of this race. I mean, Pixel can just see Tipsy's
the good.
Got him.
He can see that Tipsy's got the ERS on him, but he's not getting alongside. Yeah, actually, both of them out of it. But Pixel, and now alongside through turn 5, and the Battle of Ireland looks like it has a new favorite as they run side by side through Ferradura. Just don't die, please! Oh my God!
Oh, very close. Little bit of contact between them. Pixel managing to hang on to it though. On the inside of Ferradura, they're battling over P6, but they both need to realize that P7 is also a very good result. So whoever gets that P6, whoever gets that P7 is still in a very good position. Pixel has an angry Fox behind him as well. Fox with the penalty, of course. Up front, I'm just looking at the 2 Mercedes at the moment. Astro is really struggling on those tyres. He's going to be overtaken here, I think, by Pretorius.
What? How? Can his tyres be dead or something? Like, how does that happen? Pretorius into P3, and that is a podium position that Astro has just given to his teammate. Maybe it's out of goodwill because Astro took it last week? I don't think so, but what?
Yeah, it is a weird one. Certainly those 2 are going to be fighting until the end of the race, I would have thought. Copy has closed the gap. 2.3 now is the distance between himself and Hugo, and Copy with the penalty advantage. So it looks like he might be, and I believe this would secure second place in the championship for Copy.
It does already because Gary is retired.
Okay. I think he's retired, yeah.
Like if Copy picks up a point, then he's fine. I think the gap is 26 as is. So
okay.
I'm not sure though. So Pixel really close to Tipsy. I think this is gonna be the most exciting fight we're gonna get on track. P6 all the way down to P11, Justin being the last one in that train. 3 of them have got big penalties though. 3 seconds for Fox and Basco, 11 seconds, or technically
possibly 6. Yeah, we don't know. Basco very close to the back of Icewind here. He's going to have a look, I think, into turn 1, right in the slipstream. Icewind giving up the slipstream of the cars in front of him. He's neither of them have any battery. Icewind though deep enough into the corner.
Pixel
and spinning his Pixel.
Oh no!
He saved it just about. Oh, did he save it though? Oh, Pixel.
Where is he?
That was a dicey one. He's still there. He's being overtaken by basically everyone in that train.
But the penalties.
Didn't see how that unfolded, but Pixel just needs to hang on now.
Oh, is he hits me off, Justin?
Dear, oh, dear.
Oh, just don't throw it away now. You know you
Gotta
need...
be real careful.
I know he really wants points. He just can't throw it away now, being too overambitious. He knows he is in a good position because of the penalties out of him. Like, he is gonna get P8 by now. He's probably annoyed that he lost that position. He probably wants Justin, because...
Yeah, he's in a real fight with Justin.
Yeah,
You'll know about the others. The others all have penalties, but Justin does not, so those two are going to be fighting, I think, to the end of the race. Up front, though, Copy 2.0 is the gap. All he has to do is drive the last lap without getting a warning and without losing a second.
Oh, wait, who's dead? Basco! Basco dead. He... dead. Oh, Copy!
Oh, Copy with a penalty! Penalty for Copy on the last lap in turn 2.
I don't believe this.
Oh, the pressure just got to him a little bit.
Valtteri Bottas.
And he's thrown away what was a certain win with a penalty as Icewind gets another 3 seconds, and the two Mercedes fighting as well. We got the two Williams fighting up front, the two Mercedes fighting here for a podium. Astro and Pretorius. Astro holding the inside for the time being. He's going to hold the inside into Ferradura as well as they head into there. Pretorius not managing to find a way through. Pretorius on the old mediums, Astro on the old softs, and Hugo against the odds in this one. He put himself in a difficult position, and he's managed to claw his way out of it by, well, just driving fast at the end of the race and keeping the pressure on Copy. Copy with, well, I mean, you hesitate to call it an unforced error because it's the last lap and it's for the race win, but certainly an error that he will be, I would imagine, regretting in a big way.
The Mercedes across the line. I think Astro has got this. Yeah, Pretorius not close enough as Astro gets a little screen freeze, but it's fine. Okay, so Hugos wins this race from Copy, throws it away on the last lap. Astro gets a second P3 in a row after he took that one in Mexico and actually crossed the line. What's going on here? Pixel P8 for Icewind retired in the pits. For very good reasons, I imagine. And yeah, Tipsy P6, absolutely great. Dragon also P5, worth a mention. I don't think I mentioned him at all, but... you know, he's 5 seconds out of Tipsy, so great drive from him. Justin gets P7 after a difficult one. Pixel almost threw it away, but he gets himself points.
Yep, absolutely right. Pixel managing to hang on to the end. That was a crazy finish to that race. The two Williamses, as they have done for most of the season, dominating, but it was a close fight right to the end. Copy throwing it away with that penalty, unfortunately for him, and well, there's certainly positives for him to take out of it, which is that he was there or thereabouts on pace. But let's have a look. Jensen is... oh my goodness. Okay, so Jensen got a drive-through where as it ended, he was green by 0.018. So presumably what happened is between the tick of the delta and the VSC ending, he went red. So that is extremely bad luck for Jensen, who tried to time it perfectly and just went on the wrong side of the delta at the very, very last moment.
Yeah, who do we pick for driver of the day? I kind of want to go the F1 game route. Because, like, I don't know.
Who do we pick for driver of the day? Dragon. Yeah, I mean, I think so. Yeah. Very good drive. Yeah, P20 to P5, obviously. He started... did he start on the mediums? He must have done.
Yeah, he even spun
because he was at the back. Oh, he did, yeah. Or maybe... yeah, okay. He died on lap 1, didn't he? He died on lap 1. Yeah, so he got deposited to the back of the field, recovered to P5. So yeah, I think Dragon is driver of the day.
I would agree.
Honorable mention to Tipsy, who played the strategy exactly right and got pretty... I mean, you would say he got quite lucky with the safety car, but certainly took advantage of his good fortune. Yeah, that was quite a race. And I just wonder who we're going to be able to speak to after that one. Well, let's bring in... let's start as we tend to do traditionally. Let's start with our race winner, Hugo, who, well, I mean, How were you feeling at the start of that last lap, Hugo?
I just want to say that Copy actually won the race, but he can't appeal it because he got a double warning, but he didn't record it.
He got a double. I did notice the 2 warnings were on the same lap.
But he didn't record it, so he can't appeal it. So I just want to say, I know Coffee doesn't get the win, but congrats to Coffee for essentially winning.
Okay, that is unfortunate. Let me see. Hang on a sec. Which lap was it? I don't remember which lap it was that he got the 2 warnings. So I'm going to see if we could have had it on. Yeah, I guess we would need the whole lap on stream if we were to. Yeah, that's that really sucks. I wonder if we can do something about that because
You got it on lap
that sucks.
20.
Lap 20. Okay. Let me have a quick look. Where are we? Lap 20. So yeah, we don't have it by the looks of it, because that was the lap that Pixel and Tipsy were fighting. Yeah. So that really sucks. That feels pretty bad. But it looked like he was going to win the race anyway until the last lap. And turn 2, I guess. I get warnings there all the time. It really sucks. I hate that corner. But yeah, how are you feeling after that? I mean, what happened in the first few laps? Because it looked like you were struggling in a way that I don't think we've seen you struggle this season. Was there any reason behind that?
I just couldn't find a rhythm really. I was making mistakes in different corners every lap. So yeah. Okay. Wasn't the I mean the lap 1 and 2 were good, but then once I got out of DRS, I then couldn't pull a further gap.
Yeah. No, fair enough. And yeah, once the 3 how were you feeling when the safety car came out? Was that a good? Like, I mean, obviously it wasn't good for you, but did you think you'd lost the race at that point?
No, because I didn't at the time when it first came out. I just spent that entire lap considering whether to pit or not, and in the end I didn't, because I know that my car is quite draggy, and I did not want to have to go through all the traffic and then pull 3 seconds. So I was hoping that I could pull 3 seconds while they were fighting behind me, which nearly worked out, but then it just and then was it Jensen and Mackinder? Was it Mackinder? They got a drive-through.
Yeah, so. They both got drive-throughs. Yeah. Jensen posted a screenshot. He was green on the Delta by 0.018, according to the tick that happened before the safety car came in, or the safety car ended. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, presumably he went red between the tick and the safety car ending. Yeah. So that's pretty close.
I was considering just going full throttle down the straight, which I did, and then it was still saying ending when I got very close to the corner. So I broke just to make sure I didn't get a drive through.
I really hate it. Like, it's you think you've timed it just right. It's like, you've got it at like a nice 0.6, and then you go full throttle just as it's ending, and it goes 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, and then it like seems to accelerate. Yeah. And it doesn't end for like 2 seconds longer than you think it's going to.
At the end of the straight, I broke like at the perfect point, so I was like a tenth or 2 tenths within my delta, and then I see arrows behind me, and then the safety car ended, and I was like, did they get a drive-through? And I looked in the top left, and they both got a drive-through. So
yeah. No, it's one of those things, because the penalty is so harsh that maybe it's sort of worth leaving a few extra tenths on the table. It's much worse than like a pit lane speeding penalty, for example. Yeah.
I always have like
I
always have half a second, and I accelerate when I'm 100% sure that I'm gonna get a good launch in. I think it's the way to do, because like this happens and you lose P2 in Jensen's case. And
should we bring in Jensen, because we can have a chat about it, because Jensen just really, really unlucky by the looks of it, with that virtual safety car. You reckon you could have won that race?
I mean, it would have been really close. Hugo was tiny bit faster, but it would have been around the 3-second mark in the end, I think. So, well, at the time it happened, I was still net P1, but yeah, it was really frustrating because in my eyes, it freezes at 0.018, like you saw on the screenshot.
Yeah.
Then I presume, all right, that's the tick that counts, you know. So
yeah. Well, I presume what actually happens is that the timings update more often than they show.
Yeah.
And that between the tick that you saw and the VSC ending, you went red, just by a few thousandths or whatever it was, which really sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks. I mean, I was really focused this race. I was on top of everything. The start was a little bit scruffy. I got hit in the rear by Bryce, so I had to catch the car, lose another position. Yeah, and then after my pit stop went a lap longer, same lap as Hugo, lap 15. Came in the middle of traffic. Had some really epic fights with Copy, and he tried to shake me off by overtaking midfielders before turn 4, and I could slip through every single time on the inside as well. I absolutely loved it, and that's the positive things I take out of this race.
Yeah, I think Timo said it felt like multi-class racing.
Yeah.
It was.
Passing, LMP1s passing GTs or whatever. It was great.
Yeah, it might have. That's a good comparison. It really felt that way. Slipping past through. Copy couldn't get rid of me, and at the end, when the safety car came out, I was like, do I pit? Do I not pit? I saw quite a few cars behind me. I knew most of them also just had fresh rubber, so I didn't know what they were going to do. And then I saw Copy jump into the pits and see the 4 cars behind him or something also pit, and I was like, that's going to be a factor at the end of the race. But actually managed to keep Copy behind me. Maybe he was still saving his battery for final charge in the last few laps. We will never know because obviously I had to come in or get disqualified. That's the most frustrating part, that I can't even appeal it, so to say, because if I kept driving, I would have been disqualified. So would have never made it to the end. So, but I was like, let's just retire in the pits before I DSQ on track and screw over Copy's chance to still win it. So. I take a lot of positives out of this race. Of course, Hugo was a bit unlucky with the safety car, which brought us back into contention. But still a race for me with no penalties up till that point, and still fighting for the win, even having a really good chance at the end of the race. That's gives me good confidence for next season when I'm driving full time again.
Yeah, no, that's really good to hear, and it's always good to have these battles at the front.
Yeah.
We thought it might be we thought it might be Copy's first win today, but unfortunately.
Didn't he even win this season?
He did win.
He did win. Oh, he did win. Okay,
I was like,
China.
How can I? I was like, how can I win?
I thought that was going to be his first win of the season.
Okay, yeah.
No, you're right. But he certainly won one.
Yeah, it's a shame for him, but I really enjoy fighting with Copy because it's always so raw to the limit and almost at the point of going wrong, but it always goes right. And if I have to pick one driver I feel most confident with driving side by side, it's him. So that made the race real fun for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a word, I mean, we saw Jay make his debut today, and he's someone presumably you have some experience of in the past. I was very impressed by him.
I mean,
at the start of the race, very fast and very clean as well, by the looks of it.
Yeah. I mean, I know he knows my channel and he knows me via my channel, but last Monday he actually came into the server and we did a practice race, and then I could already see he had potential and pace, and he's he wants to be faster with no assist. So I think a good addition to SLR. He was clean Monday, he was clean today. Unfortunately for him, I think he still had rich mix on or something after the safety car restart. So he spun out before turn 2, and yeah, he was gone after that point. But yeah, he drove a really good race. Got a bit lucky that he lost me and Copy in the traffic after the pit stops. But I mean, yeah, really good pace. So I think it's a good addition to Tier 1.
Yeah, no, absolutely, very much agreed. I was certainly very impressed. He got the fastest lap as well because he pitted at the end for soft. So
yeah,
that'll be some consolation for him. But yeah, good stuff. We got Abu Dhabi next week. You both driving Abu Dhabi?
Depends. If I'm a little bit bored, I might drive it, and otherwise I'm gonna skip it. I don't hate the track, but.
Right. When you're bored, you're gonna drive Abu Dhabi, because Abu Dhabi is definitely a cure for being bored. Yeah, Jensen. Okay. Cool.
If you have races like this, Timo, every track can be exciting.
It's true. If you. This is the point where I self-deprecate about the Tier 2 championship.
First, we have to see. Maybe I can persuade Hugo in doing last to first next week.
Hey.
Or are you busy with your wins?
Hey, Hugo, what's your opinion? Hey.
I'll do it. Sure.
There we go. All right.
Okay. Well, I just got the news in. I'm driving next week.
Okay.
Nice.
Good to hear. Hopefully we get more than 10 drivers, so the last to first challenge is actually difficult.
I only did it in Hungary.
Yeah, but
that's true. You did.
It's a fun way to end the season, I think, and there's nothing to play for us anyway. So.
Yeah. All right. Well done, both of you. I'm going to drag you back into the other channel.
Yes,
and that was Hugo and Jensen. And let's speak to our two Mercedes drivers. Let's bring them in together because they spent most of the race together. Certainly the second half of it, Astro and Pretorius. That was a pretty fun battle at the end there, Astro. And you obviously found some pace from earlier in the week.
Yeah, I was seriously surprised by my pace. Even in quali, I got P5, but I could have gotten even faster, but I got held in the pits by my teammate when I was trying to go on my last run.
Aha! Interesting tactics.
Alonso.
Yes.
I don't understand that, because weren't you in the pits when I exited? You were already in the garage.
Oh.
So I mean, we should both be able to exit at the same time. I don't understand how I held you up.
Yeah.
But if you say so.
I mean, I'm not mad, but yeah, I was quite a bit sad.
I'm not mad.
But yeah, you still got a podium, and it was a fun battle at the end. Did you think at any point that you had anything for Hugo or Copy or anyone up front?
To be honest, I wasn't even expecting points today. My pace seemed so bad. I have no idea where this pace came from. So
it's because Terra was unexpectedly fast in the practice. That's why you thought you were slow, but Terra was actually quick. That's what happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna take credit for giving Astro Boys a podium today.
You're welcome.
It was all down to me. Yeah, you're welcome, Astro.
Yes. Actually, I told you, Timo, when you race, I get a podium.
There you go.
It's 2 in a
row.
Wait, did you race?
No, I didn't.
He didn't. He didn't race. No.
I was shouting in the commentary, but it's 2 in a row. That's how it works.
Never mind.
There you go, 2 podiums in a row. And Pretorius at the end on those tires. Those tires. I mean, were you looking after them? They seemed like they were good as new at the end.
I mean, I think I always look after the tires. I try and avoid lockups and stuff, but yeah, they felt fine. I mean, I don't know. I felt like Astro was slower than I expected because he was on fresh softs, and I kept up with him pretty well and managed to overtake him. But
yeah, I mean, I was trying to save some ERS there.
Yeah, alright.
They was really low,
of course, that's why. But yeah, the tires felt fine. There was not really any issue with that. So I think I did the correct decision in staying out, because I also would have had to double stack if I pitted. So
yeah, fair enough. And a good team result that puts you, I think, pretty solidly second in the championship now.
I calculated actually we had 2 points off sealing it, but yeah,
okay,
it's
nice.
Almost there.
So you need 2 points in the last race.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, in the race, I did a mistake by going on the hards. I wasn't paying attention what tires were selected. So.
Yeah, we did wonder, because yeah, you pitted. You didn't pit super early, right? It was like lap 13 or 14 or something. Yeah.
Actually,
so
my tires were like at under 50%, so I don't know how. But yeah, I saw Copy going into the pits, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow him. And then I realized that I have the hard selected, so
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
The safety car saved me pretty much. But
Yeah,
I mean, I had a contact with Danny. Just seeing it now, I didn't see it. I didn't realize it, but hope I don't get a penalty for this.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll have a look at that. Yeah, I've not seen Danny. Danny had a difficult race in lots of ways. He got called god awful by Timo early on. never really recovered.
But just because he wanted me to. Pretorius is my witness. He was there.
Yeah, it's true.
Well done both of you. It's a really good team result, as I said, 3rd and 4th, Astro and Pretorius.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll hope to see you guys next week in Abu Dhabi. Let's bring in Jay, because he was muted a little bit earlier on, and I wanted to speak to you, Jay, because you didn't get the result today. But the performance was very good indeed. You were running P2 for most of the race. The dog decides he wants to growl in the background. Fair enough. But yeah, really good performance and a very good debut.
Yeah, I mean, was a good race. Indeed, I was P2 for a long time. But yeah, at the restart, I just dropped it on my own because the cold tires. So yeah, that's pretty sad. But was a good race. Still got the fastest lap. Enjoyed it a lot, and that's what matters.
Yeah. I mean, how far were you thinking? Because you were P2 behind Hugo, I think, at that point. When you spun, and you were on the same tires as him, I guess, but you didn't have the penalty. So potentially there was at least a podium in it for you, and possibly even a race win.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Because I went into this because it's my debut in the league to get some points, and then in quali I got P3, it was, I think. And then I was pretty surprised, and I was P2 for a long time, and then the safety car was like, I got some good shot, maybe to even win if I can stay in this DRS because of the penalties. But sadly enough, I just dropped it. But it happens. But it was still very fun.
Yeah. I mean, are we going to see you as a sort of regular fixture in Tier 1 going forward? It seems like you've certainly got the pace for it.
I hope so, but at least for next season, I really hope so. For next week, I don't know because of the track, but it's not the best track ever. But yeah, we'll see. I'll just, I think I'll do it, but no promises at least. But yeah, I want to do more races because it's really fun.
Okay, well, certainly it was a very good debut from you today.
Thank you.
And good to have you in the league. That was Jay. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
That was Jay. So good stuff from him. And let's bring in, as our final interviewees today, let's bring him in together because they spent most of the race together, just like the Mercedes boys, Pixel and Mr. Tipsy Bob. That was a scrap between you guys. We enjoyed watching that a lot.
You just caught us, Mr. Terror, midway hurling abuse at each other. Good out.
So are you guys? You're off each other's Christmas cards list after that. Guys, banging wheels and.
No, it's all good fun.
Yeah, no, we weren't. We were just talking. Right, there was just 2 incidents between me and Pix. As I was saying to Pix there before, I was kind of trying to gauge myself in terms of my battery and all with Pix and Justin, because I seen Pix was catching Justin pretty quickly. And I was just riding in his DRS, but so I was deploying battery, then not deploying it. I was trying to work it right so that I could capitalize if anything happened between them guys. But then I realized quite early on, maybe actually too late, that I was actually dropping too much from Pix, and Dragon was catching me, so I squeezed up. Then I went for that move on Pix. I don't know if you caught it at the beginning of Sector 2, I think. The fast uphill right-hander. I went up his inside because.
Is that where you were side by side for like the rest of the lap?
No, that was earlier in the race.
Okay.
That was just before it. I went up his side. I don't know if Pix see me. It doesn't really matter. But obviously he had to move across to get himself positioned for that corner, and I got tapped onto the grass there, and I thought that was it. I thought it was game over, but I held on to it. Then so that was actually later on in the race, because then Dragon got past me, you see, which effectively made me lose out in P5. And then near the end of the race, I think it was lap 32 roughly, I was kind of pushing really hard to try and maintain my position. So my softs were starting to die on me, and I took turn 1 or turn 2 really, I think it was turn 1 actually, really conservatively. And I think Pix maybe just had that overspeed, didn't expect it, and it was a case of he was had an overspeed, and I also was going a bit slower than normal, and I think Pix caught me. Which
I'd taken the corner the same way I'd taken it behind you with a similar gap to the lap before, and it had worked out fine. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna do this and try and get a good run on the straight and challenge you down to turn 4. But it's just like the first part of the apex was fine, but then you just seem to stop in the late apex, and at that point, if I jam my brakes, I'm probably going to spin, or if I don't, I'm going to hit you. Either way, it's not going to be pleasant. And I'd hope that I would tap you square and that nothing would happen to either of us, but unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. But,
whenever I got the tap ad, and I thought it was game over again there, and then I did see Pix in, and I was kind of annoyed with that because I was really enjoying the fight with. It was absolutely. I was about to swear there.
Geez. Oh yeah.
It was just brilliant, and then the side-by-side bits. That just makes everything. Any race I can have half a lap or a full lap side-by-side with someone just makes it so worthwhile.
Yeah, it was really fun.
So considering, I know I go on it all the time. People probably think I'm a broken record, but I don't practice, so I didn't really practice. There are 5 laps, P18 to P6. I'm happy enough with that. So yeah, great race. Picks over to you, man.
Yeah, I just don't have much more to say to it. I was going into this race a bit downbeat because Brazil is easily my worst track on the game, and it's like I hope it's wet because maybe I can score some points then. And so then I saw the forecast, and I was just thinking, well, this sucks.
Well, the timing of the safety car, I mean, that certainly helped you guys out a huge amount.
Well,
if it could have been like 25 seconds earlier, would have been even better. But
Yeah, I seen Pix and Drags going into the pits at lap 20, and I was reliably informed by a top man, that would be Mr. Jensen, that you can get at least 21 laps on the medium. So I said, fine, they can go. Let them go in. Then I pushed like mad. Every last bit of battery I had, I pushed. And then the safety car came out, and I just looked to the heavens, and I thanked whoever was up there, and I said, thank you very much. And I came out in front of Pix, but that was a dicey moment actually at the end of that pit stop, because I seen Pix on the main straight, so I was pushing obviously to get out of the pits.
Yeah, I was rich on full boost.
Yeah, and I knew he was coming, but Astro was there, and then there was like a pit exit race between Astro and Pix. I was like, oh,
yeah, Astro's front wing was just barely ahead of me at the line. Like it was so like a second.
Oh, nice.
The difference. It was so close.
One thing I'll say on my side is that if anyone knows the folklore of the 2S races, Brazil is a race of main bands that we love. It's one of our great favorite races, but it's also the most unluckiest race for main bands. We've had the pit glitch, we've had the invisible barrier glitch, we've had everything. We've even had a season restart based on the incidents that happened. So to go from P18, which is what I expected, considering that I was really slow, to get P6 is just mega. I'm chuffed. Of course, the safety car did play a factor, plus the fact that some of the top guys did DNF. I reckon if they didn't finish, I would have probably been P9.
Well, I mean, you took advantage of everything that came your way, which is all you can really do. Like it was a solid performance. And I was just thinking about 2S folklore, because my first win I remember was in Brazil, and who did I have putting the pressure on until the very last moment in that race? About 3 or 4 seconds behind me. I think it was you, Mr. Tipsy Bob.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have always been strong here, I think.
Yeah, not qualifying as usual, but my pace. I only had one warning too, guys. And
that's really good.
I purposely got that warning to get a capitalize on the exit of the turn 2 to try and defend. And then just to finish, not to keep talking, but then whenever I told Jensen in DMs, because he was giving me some tips, and I told him, look, if any of the top guys come anywhere near me, if it's not a blue flag, I have no intention of fighting them. I didn't really have any intention of fighting anyone really, but whenever I seen after a couple of laps that I'm actually pretty decent race pace, I thought I could maybe battle people like Pix and Drags and stuff like that. But I let Jensen go. I seen Copy was trying to make a late move on, which is fine because I wasn't going to fight him. A late move on me into turn 3, hoping to.
Yeah, I think we caught that. Yeah,
he was hoping to probably put the Irish roadblock in front of between him and Jensen, but Jensen didn't. I let him pass. I didn't so much let him pass. I just didn't fight him, So,
yeah. Well, I think I said at the time in commentary that that's an absolute nightmare if you're the car being overtaken there, because you know that they're a lot faster than you, and you know that they're like going to be super aggressive because it's really important that they clear you quickly.
Yeah.
So
The
often the best thing you can do is to just stand aside.
Sorry, the only guy I probably frustrated a little bit, don't know if I didn't hear, was probably Jay, because he came out, I think, on reasonably fresh mediums, and I was still game. I was still fighting Pixel, and I did not want to lose that gap until, of course, the main DRS. So he could have maybe passed me a couple of times in mid-sector, but I mean, that's not going to happen. I'm going to cover it because I want to keep up with picks. So overall, guys, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to listening back to the epic commentating by Terran and Timo.
I was shouting so much.
There was some shouting. We even had the Bailey Thompson spins.
But it was only for the meme.
he crashed in the same corner that he crashed at that time. It was real sad.
I am looking forward to seeing it back, guys, because there seemed to be I don't know about you, Pix, if you felt it, but there was this overriding sense that there was so much happening on the track at any point, because there was yellow flags left, right, and center. Then there was a safety car. Then there was the VSC. And then there was people past me. And then suddenly I seen Danny. I think I passed Danny at least twice, maybe, but not because I was faster, because that's just impossible. But I think he had a few issues. I think somebody turned into him or something. But anyway.
Yeah, it was him and Astro. I think that had an incident. But yeah, I mean, really good race from both of you. It was really good to see. I dragged in Mr. Icewind, who had some struggles in the race today after qualifying way up in P5, P6, something like that. Let's have a look. P6, I think it was. The Icewind qualified on a 106.8. The race didn't go your way today, Icewind.
Yeah. First of all, I just before I even go to my race, I just want to say that I am quitting Tier 1. So winner, pass, fail, whatever you will. And yeah, whether that's another tier that I'll race in, or it's another 13-year creative break, well, who's to say? But yeah, just to put it out there, thanks to everybody who's making SLR possible. The admins, commentators, hosts, practice session guys who are evaluating new guys, FIA teams, and whoever else I've forgotten about that. And first and foremost, of course, Ocean Chief, and I'm sure every single guy is behind me with that one. I know he's just one guy, but that league wouldn't be there where it is without him. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I mean, from our perspective, we hope you're going to be sticking around in some capacity at the least, even if you're not going to be racing in Tier 1, because certainly you're a big asset to this league. Whether it's in the commentary booth or in the FIA channel, or just sort of as a crew chief presence to have around. Certainly I think I speak for everyone that we really appreciate having you around. So hopefully you're sticking around and being sort of involved, even if you're not driving.
Yeah, we'll see. I think at the moment I just sort of feel like I need I don't know, do something else for a bit. It's just nothing has really gone my way the last two seasons. So yeah.
Mr. Ice, can I make a suggestion, Mr. Ice?
Yeah.
While we have this rare moment, we have so many Chad commentators or ex-commentators, that'll be me. Considering this your finish, why don't you take up rallying? Because then you don't need to worry about track limits.
Yeah, it's the track limits are really the least of my worries right now. But I mean, I wasn't really gonna race today, but I kind of said to Chief that I'll do one last race, and yeah, I suppose you can turn it that way, that it was worthy of my final race getting 9 seconds of penalties, which, well, at least 6 seconds of that was just I just gave up after lap 1 because
hey Ice,
I don't know what happened there. Like somebody, yeah, my race was over in turn 1 because some has sent it massively on the inside and just pushed, I think, Jensen into my wing, and then I was pushed into another car who was on my outside, and my wing was just completely destroyed on both sides in turn 1, and then limping back to the pits and realizing that I'm 20 seconds away from anybody else. It's just kind of
Nice.
Just driving around, chilling, and then getting a little bit of racing at the end with Bascodinho, which I think he probably should report me for one swipe. I kind of squeezed him a bit there, but
Right.
yeah.
Mr. Chief makes a suggestion. Why don't you make your return to Formula 2?
Let's just, I don't want to drag this further because I'm sure everybody is already gone from the stream at this point. So I just thanks for the time in Tier 1, and I'll you'll have to find another penalty dummy for you guys, but yeah. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. It was terrible.
Like I said, I mean, we hope you'll, we hope you'll reconsider at some point and drive again, because you are a very good driver, a very fast driver, certainly. Just the consistency occasionally you don't quite have, but often you do have it. So it's it's the pace is what sets you apart, though. And you are sort of very good as far as pace is concerned. But yeah, I mean, if it's making you miserable and if it's making you not want to do it anymore, then I think that's fair enough. But as I said, you are an asset to this league, and we hope you'll stick around in various capacities as much as you can and as much as you want to. So.
Yep, we'll see.
All right. Well, that was Icewind, and I think that's time probably to wrap up the stream, Mr. Beamer. Unless Tipsy has unless Tipsy is Tipsy usually has something to say, so we'll let Tipsy say what Tipsy has to say.
You're trying to say I talk too much, Mr. Tyler?
Not at all, Tipsy. Not at all.
Look, I have a quick question, right? And then I'll just leave it here. Why is there a light in the fridge, but there's not a light in the freezer?
That's a good question. I think my old freezer had a light.
Crazy flex. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it might be because it's too cold for a light.
Flexing on all the peasantry.
I don't know. It's a good question, though. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, I have.
Well, yeah, you can maybe,
Can I ask a question?
What?
What have you know? What? That was a really negative, derogatory what?
I'm sorry. What?
Am I delaying you guys from ending the stream?
What?
Hey, what again?
Actually, I do know why freezers don't have a light. So, because if they had a light, they wouldn't be able to fit Tebo's tires.
What the? That was incredibly random.
It was very good.
But it was a nice attempt. I'm gonna cry now. Okay. Why are you gonna backstab me like that? I'm.
You were nice and warm and safe there, Timo, with your trusty sidekick, Mr. Terror, but even he will delve to the depths of humiliating Timo.
Yeah, and he'll even appropriate his jokes after the tradition of my home country.
Last thing, right then, I'll leave you speak. Because this is going to be the last race for SLR. Just get live to the world. I'm going to try and, during the holiday break, the Christmas break, when everyone's having fun, locked in their house, I am going to try and make a new Formula 1 intro. Hey. And this time it will not feature Timo dying in Spa.
I think you should get like some frames in, like at the very end, just for the meme. But
don't worry, Timo, I'm planning much better.
Amazing.
I'm sure there's plenty of other occasions in which Timo has died that we can use.
But none is as funny as this one.
So anyway, I'll leave you these two guys. I'll leave you to it, guys, and let you just get back to being professional because I'm kind of spoiling it.
Okay,
have a good one, Tipsy.
You can. You're even ruined my outro by answering the lights question. So, anyways, if you're still here, you are a master of enduring a lot of interviews, and I am sure you are dedicated enough to the EGL channel to be there again tomorrow evening when. What?
Right, they're just here to listen to your beautiful voice, Timo. That's all.
Well, then they're out of luck tomorrow because I'm driving. But yeah, we've got 2 several Tier 2 and Tier 1 coming up in the evening, and that is going to be fun. We'll take on Brazil, and next week we'll see the final week of this season on SLR. And 2 several, we ran it out in Abu Dhabi. I don't know, are there any championship fights left? I honestly don't know. I'm not that informed, but we've got, on Monday, of course, we head to Monza, to the Temple of Speed in ACC, and last week got a lot of people active in the chat. That was nice to see, so, you know, if you're free at that time and you're interested, check in and maybe give it a watch. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.